we're back. This is Sophia with her mom, Andrea. Today we're reviewing the 2019 film directed by Gurinder Chadha. It was a pretty good movie. Had some powerful messages in there, and
all the messages were Bruce Springsteen songs.
No.
Okay.
No! In England, in 1987, a teenager from an Asian family learns to live his life, understand his family, and his own voice through the music of American rock star Bruce Springsteen.
His father wanted him to go to college to study something very specific that he didn't want to study. He wanted to be a writer. The thing was that in the movie, they're like, oh, you're a good Pakistani son, then you listen to your father, and you do what your father says. Yet his father left and came to England against his father's wishes. So I don't understand that. His wife pointed that out to his father. You left and your father didn't want you to leave, but that was different. Why? Because you think you're right?
There is a lot of discrimination against Pakistanis. There was that one scene when they were at the father's friend's house. That scene was very disturbing because these little kids kind of took a whiz in
Through
their
the mail slot.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do anything.
At the time, I feel like the Pakistanis were just trying to keep their heads down.
Yeah.
And trying to make out like nothing was happening. It was very upsetting that they didn't do anything. Javed actually wanted to stand up for himself as well as his people. When he listens to Bruce Springsteen's songs, he feels like Springsteen is like the only person in the world who understands him. This excites him to the max, and he's just like, yeah.
I, again, had an issue with the dream sequences in this movie. I wasn't sure at any given time. I'm like, okay, is this actually part of the movie or is it a dream sequence? It was very difficult to follow those. And it was a little irritating to have the dialogue a lot of the time Springsteen songs. They could have expressed themselves in their own words. That whole storm sequence where he was throwing out his writing. I mean, I liked it, but then he's like against the garage and all those Springsteen words are on the garage. I'm like, this is a little much.
Well, yes, they did have a lot of typography, just zooming across the screen, and you're like so focused on reading that, you don't know what's going on screen. It's literally just what he's saying. So there's really no point in reading it. I don't know. I hated that they kept stopping the songs in that storm sequence. It started off with Dancing in the Dark, and that's like one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. He was walking around his house, and all this stuff was going on. All of a sudden, he just stops it in the middle of him singing, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just living in a dump like this. There's something happening somewhere.
You should be listening to our music before you start getting confused.
I did not really like his significant other. I forget her name already.
Yeah. Nobody looked like Bride of Frankenstein. You might have had that teased up and out to here, but I don't know what she was doing. She had like streaks in her hair that weren't neon. She was kind of weird.
She reminded me of
Ed Sheeran. You just don't like any love interest. No wonder you like Rocket Man so much.
That's so messed up. I didn't like that they just kept playing Born to Run.
It's the same couple of songs throughout this whole movie.
I didn't understand why they included Bruce Springsteen's rendition of Blinded by the Light for like 5 seconds, and then they included Born to Run like 5 times within the movie. It should have been called Born to Run if they were gonna do that.
I mean, I thought it was a good story.
Yes.
They could have done it a little bit better.
Yes.
I like this even less than yesterday. I thought that the material was interesting because of the time, but I don't think they pulled it together very well.
I kind of agree with you there. So I give this movie a B+. I think it was good, but not that good.
It has to be like a B-, C+. I really it was okay. I wouldn't say it was a waste of my life to watch it, and then I might watch it again, but it's alright.